Hey guys, welcome to the Hey DJ Show. I'm your host, DJ Jimenez. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're over on YouTube, please go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more content. Remember, you can catch this podcast on the go wherever you get your podcasts. And do consider following me on every social media platform at Hey DJ Show. With all that boring stuff out of the way, I'm really happy to introduce my next guest, Brianna Nicole. Bree, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm chilling. You're early, but
wait, yeah. How early? Probably like almost basically an hour early.
I know. You were like, all right, I said, hey, let's do it at 5. You said, and then you said 4:30. And I was like, all right, fine. 4. Yo, I'm at the store. Hold on.
I was at Waho getting my chalky milk. Technically, if you want to be technical.
Is it good chocolate? I never had Waffle House chocolate milk.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had have you ever had a QT's hot chocolate during like the winter?
No.
Dude, it's pretty fire.
Slaps?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to keep that in mind. If you want to get technical though, I'm late.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because we're supposed to do it at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, 2. First it was like at noon, then 2. We were just all over the place.
Yeah, but we're here.
We're here. There you go. Now and that's it. That's all it is. I turn on the camera, I turn on the lights, and
Boom.
Turn on the mics, and this is it. This is how chill it is. I have to capture my personality of how chill this is going to be. Mm-hmm. So Bree, again, thank you so much for coming on. Like, we're gonna talk about stuff relating to school and teacher. Like, you are in school to be a teacher. Let me ask this real quick, and we can shoot the shit. But what made you want to be a teacher? I know it's such a cliche thing, but let's start it. What made you want to be a teacher?
Yeah, so I was originally going to school for pharmaceutical sales.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was in it for the money. Really, it wasn't something I was passionate about whatsoever. So
you have to find that balance between what you
yeah.
want to do and what you want to get paid to do.
For sure. So about halfway through the second semester, I was like, this is not what I want to do. This is awful. I hated it. It was stupid. I took like maybe one business class and I was like, all right, I got to do something else with my life. And it was so funny because I never ever thought I would go to school to be a teacher.
Really?
Yeah. It was never in my plans. My stepsister was always the one who wanted to be the teacher. But I have always loved kids. I mean, I worked in the church babysitting, and I helped in a youth group a lot. So yeah, I kind of thought about it and I was like, I think this is what I'm meant to do. And I got into it, and I got a substitute teaching job in the Cobb County School District.
Nice.
Yeah, and I really love it. I think it's kind of what I'm meant to do. I want to do something with my life that's going to inspire others and kind of push the world to a better place. I think that's what I would say.
So cliche.
Very cliche.
It's funny because like most of my friends like I've always talked about it, like, oh, most of my friends have 9 to 5 is because they're teachers. And most of them, I would say, wanted to be a teacher since high school. Like, oh, what are we going to be when, we get out of high school? And they're like, oh, I want to be a teacher. Do you know what subject you want to?
First grade. So I'm going for early element. Wow, I can speak. We're going to hang up and call you back there. Early elementary. Wow.
Wow.
We're just going to cut this entire part out right here.
Third try.
Should we pause?
No, I'm keeping that.
Oh, no, you're not.
I'm the one editing it.
All right. Third time's a charm. I need like the little
slate.
Yeah. Early childhood elementary education. That's what it is.
There it is.
So
if you didn't get it on the third try, I was like, all right,
we were
episode
just
over.
Cut it now. We're done. So basically that's K through 5. I can teach anywhere from kindergarten to 5th grade.
And that's like any subject, like math, science, history.
I don't know how it was when you went to school because I went to school in Tennessee. Mm-hmm. So like in 1st grade, one teacher kind of taught everything.
Yeah. Trying to remember. Yeah, like we would have 1 or 2 teachers that would split the subjects, but we had like our main teacher, like it was like our homeroom, and then like oh, for 1 hour we're going to talk about history, the other hour we're going to talk about math.
But it was the same teacher, correct?
Yeah, majority of the time. Like, I remember I went to Ackworth Elementary, and I had two teachers. One was I was the homeroom and everything, and then I had one teacher that we would go to lunch and do math, and that was it.
Honestly, can't remember.
Yeah, no, it's pretty fuzzy. Fifth grade, no, it's the same thing. Yeah.
I feel like it's still that way where one teacher kind of teaches everything.
Yeah.
If not, I would rather do either English or science.
English. I have a bad history with or science. I have a bad history with English teachers. We'll get into it later, but
awesome.
Yeah, no, that's actually unique. You went in for pharmaceutical sales and then switched to did you so you said you only took like one business class. That I will say that like kind of scares me. Like, I'm in for dental hygiene. I haven't taken a dental class yet.
At all.
Like, I have to get into the program.
I actually thought about going to school to be a dental hygienist.
Yeah, I think you and I talked about that.
Yeah, I only wanted to do it because the hours were good, though.
Dude, the hours, the pay,
amazing.
Everything is great about it.
Yeah.
Like, I saw a YouTube video where it was talking about the pros and cons, like, before I settled on it. And, like, one of the cons was, like, oh, yeah, you have to deal with, like, you know, some mean people. And I'm like, we work at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay, give me something else. Like, so I was like, I shrugged that off. It was like, oh, you have to work in people's mouths. Sometimes other people don't like that. And I don't know, like, call it just, it's hard. It's only certain things really gross me out. And I was just like, no, that doesn't gross me out. Like, I could work in somebody's mouth. Yeah. And then you get all these awesome benefits. You just work in somebody's mouth. Done. I'll take it.
See, I thought about that, and like, it's funny because I actually thought about being like a pediatric dentist. So like, it was still something to do with kids.
Yeah.
So I knew that my life needed to go in that direction.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy. I don't think I could do it because like, there's certain people that don't have the greatest hygiene with their mouth, and it'd be over.
Yeah. I don't know. I got a thick skin and an iron stomach for that. Like, and honestly, just like all the other attributes for it, like the hours, the pay, but like overall the environment, I'm like, I could see myself doing it because I still want to work with people, and the health industry has always been like something like, oh, it'd be cool to work in one, like wear scrubs and stuff like that. I do like Scrubs. I don't know why. I think it's because the show Scrubs.
Oh my god, I don't think I've ever seen that show.
Oh my god, it's great, man. You gotta watch it. You got Hulu?
Yes, I do.
You gotta watch it. It's like The Office and Parks and Rec is great and all, like, but you know, for lack of better term, they're so mainstream. But like, Scrubs is so underrated. Scrubs is honestly one of the greatest shows. It's so quotable. Alec and I, we quote it. It's great.
I'm just not a big show person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, when a show does a good job, like especially a sitcom, oh my god, it's great.
I can only watch anime shows.
I mean, anime is great too, but like sometimes I gotta watch. What I like about shows, especially Scrubs, is that it's very animated, like people being animated, and that to me is funny. And like, I want to take a break from real life. Like, real life sucks sometimes, so I just want to watch something silly and not super deep sometimes.
That makes sense, I guess. I don't know. I've just never been into shows like that.
You gotta at least watch Scrubs. Like, you watch a couple of episodes and then be like,
I like stupid reality stuff like Forged in Fire and The Great British Baking Show. And have you ever seen Ink Master?
Was it Ink Master? I know there's so many other tattoo shows. I have a brother who was on Ink Master.
Was it?
He was. It's in New York, right? Ink Masters.
Honestly, I think so. I'm honestly not sure.
I don't know. If Ink Masters, if they film in different locations, whatever. One season they were in New York, and I have a brother who lives in New York, and he was one of the I guess contestants or whatever. They had to bring in like one person. They had to draw a Jägermeister symbol on their body.
Okay.
My brother's tattoo guy won. Like he drew the perfect Jägermeister on his ankle.
That's cool.
Yeah, and he got a free tattoo for it. And I was just like,
Hey.
that's pretty dope.
Oh, that would be so fun. That would be so fun. I love tattoos.
I know you do. I can't.
You think you'll ever get one?
Okay, so I have thought about this for a while. I was a hard no. Like, no. I will never get a tattoo. Now, I'm kind of open to it in the sense of like, I can't just get a tattoo. All right, let me put it this way. If by a miracle I become popular, like the show blows up and all that stuff, and I actually have some influence, I want to do like a charity thing where if we're able to raise like $50,000 for cancer research, I'll get a tattoo. But
okay.
If we get $49,999 and we're $1 shy, I'm not getting a tattoo. No.
Oh my goodness.
No.
I mean, I guess it's for charity, so that.
But if it's for charity, I'll do it. I'm not gonna be happy about it. We'll live stream it too.
Yeah. What would you get?
I'll let other people decide. I'm not about that life. Just as long as I agree to it. But like, I'm gonna let other people decide. I'm just not. I hate needles. Like, I'm not gonna. I love the art. If I could have the ink on my body without needles, oh yeah, tap me up. But
okay,
needles,
see,
man.
I used to say that I hate needles, but I hate intravenous needles, like IVs and stuff.
Yeah,
that's the only thing. So when I started getting tattoos,
those,
when I started getting tattoos, I was like, oh, I'm gonna hate this. I'm never gonna want them ever again. But like, it's not that bad. You don't really see them, and if you don't look, you don't even know. You just know that you're getting some ink stabbed into you.
No,
you don't have to think about it's a needle. You're like, I'm gonna have some badass art for the rest of my life.
I mean, that's great. You still got to go through the pain. I'm not about that life.
The pain is what makes it fun.
No. See, I go skydiving because you don't feel pain. I go snowboarding because you don't feel pain.
On the contrary.
What
if
are you
fall
talking?
Down, if you hit a tree.
I've never hit a tree. I fell down plenty of times in snow.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't get hurt.
Snow hurts.
I don't know what snow you're impacting, but I've never gotten hurt by snow.
What?
I just fell. All right, time to get back up. That's it.
I've never been snowboarding.
Oh my God, it's the best.
I don't like the cold. Yet I want to move to Colorado.
No, I don't like the cold either, but it's a different thing when you go snowboarding and skiing because one, you don't realize it. You do get warmed up because you're doing it. That eventually you open up your jacket and you're just like, man, I need the breeze. And that happens. It's just in the beginning, it's cold. And then that's it. And then you forget about it. Like once you go down the slope for like a couple of minutes, you forget.
Yeah.
One day we'll go. I'll take you.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the cold at all. I'll go ice skating. That's about it.
Ice skating. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Love ice skating.
So going back to teaching, so when you were in school, I mean, you're still in school, you're at KSU. Mm-hmm. What are your best subjects and your worst subjects?
I used to think that my worst subject was math, which is really funny. But I work super hard in those classes because I always used to think I was super bad, but I've gotten 100s in all of my math classes. And I'm surprisingly really bad at science. Even though I love science.
And
love
you want
science.
to do
it doesn't make any sense because like once I really apply myself to math, I'm really good at it, and it takes me like 2 seconds to learn it. It's like statistics. It was super easy for me, and everybody was like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Oh, you just do this." And it's funny because I look back in high school, and it was my Algebra 2 class, and I was in there. And I was a sophomore and everybody else in there was a junior because I transferred from Tennessee. So we kind of switched it around there. So we were younger when we took it in Tennessee, but people were older in there. And I just picked up on everything super easy. And everybody would always come ask me for help. And I'm like, why are you guys? I don't understand. I'm not that good at math. But yeah, so I'm pretty good at English, I would say. But so, like, my top 2, I think, are English and math. My bottom 2 are probably history and science.
Wow. That's hilarious.
I just hate history.
I do, too. I've grown to appreciate it now, like, and tolerate it. I can do well. English/language arts, That's the bane.
But are you good at math?
Oh, I'm great at math.
That's a stipulation.
Math and science is my thing.
That's a stipulation. You're either really good at math and terrible at English, or really good at English and terrible at math.
Math, I love so much. And science, they're the same in the sense that, like, when I'm wrong, like, I know I'm wrong, and I actually have something to fix. With language arts and history, history is just a lot of memorization. One thing I hate about history, though, is when, like, you ever see those passage where it's like, oh, in your own words, describe what happened this year. Why? The textbook said it way better than I could.
Yeah.
Like, there. Like,
Yes.
So I've always hated that.
Yeah.
Language arts, oh, man, I have, like, a dark kind of past about that. But what I'll say now is that I just feel it's opinionated. Like, I had a teacher teach me one way of, like, how to structure a sentence, and then, like, the next semester I'll have another teacher tell me something different, and then I'm like, which is it, guys? Like, what's the rule here? And so,
can you give an example?
No, I can't.
I feel like some rules change throughout the years, because that has happened in language arts. Some rules do change, like there will be certain specific rules about how you quote something. So like, if you are taking a quote from, like, a movie or a book or something, the specific, like, period or exclamation point, whatever is ending the sentence, it goes inside of the quotation marks. But there was one year where we were taught that it goes outside. So things like that. I
remember something like that.
Yeah. But I think that changes like, in standards. I feel like I'm honestly not sure, but I feel like they used to tell us that it was, like, in standards. So, like, maybe that would change as you get older, because some things they're a little lax about when you're younger, but then once you get into college, a lot of things change because it has to be more professional and well written.
Yeah, no, I just always hated it. I just never felt like I got the grasp of English language arts and all that stuff. One time I remember this. There was it was on a Scantron, and it was a passage, like, you know those, like, little things you gotta read and then answer some questions. It was about, like, Timmy and his dog. Like, I'll never forget this. And I'm reading this whole passage, like, like 2-3 paragraphs long, about Timmy and his dog. First question: what's the best title for this passage? And I just stopped and was like, yo, this is the most subjective thing ever.
But it's not.
Yes, it is.
No.
Yes, and then no, because then it was like A was like The Adventures of Timmy and His Dog. B, The Dog and Timmy.
Well, did they go on an adventure? You have to ask yourself these questions. If you actually read the passage, did they go on an adventure? I bet you don't remember. But if they went on an adventure, then it is Timmy and his dog's adventure.
Bree, even if it was about Timmy and his dog just locked in their room, it's still a freaking adventure. I
disagree wholly.
I'm just saying, like, I was like...
Now, if they were, like, in a cardboard box thinking that they were, like, in a rocket ship, that would be an adventure.
It's still... that's my whole point. Like,
but did they say that?
The whole point is it's subjective. When you start a question with, what is the best one for this? It's like, what I think is the best might not be what you think is the best. Therefore, it's subjective. Therefore, I can't be wrong.
I think there's logical reasoning to it. We need to pull up this passage right now and read this.
I remember, I think I was like in the 8th grade when I read that. And I was like, I'm going to fail. Like, this is it. Like, I'm going to pass every single class with flying colors except for language arts.
That's crazy.
And that's except for history.
Crazy. And except for history.
Yeah, no, history, it took me a minute. And then I actually had a teacher in high school, kind of like, I don't know, in a weird way, shifted my mind into, like, kind of like a cheat code for a reality. I was in drama and stuff, and I had a teacher go like, listen, all history is like just memorizing. You memorize lines, right? Just memorize dates and figures. And then I was just like, And then I started doing that. I wasn't perfect because, again, those things where it says like, oh, summarize this time period in your own words. I still struggled with that. But like, you give me a year to memorize, I'll memorize. You give me a person to memorize, I'll memorize it. But it's when I have to be somewhat creative that I probably lacked.
Well, the only big thing that matters is that you know the difference between two, and two.
Oh, yeah.
And there.
There. 100.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Should we test it?
There's a sticky note right there.
All right. How do I do this?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well,
spell out this word that I use in a sentence.
Okay.
How does that work?
All right.
Okay. They're going on a run. Show the camera. He's right. Okay. Right. Look over there. I feel like these are really easy. I could have gotten a little more complicated.
No, but
this.
Like this is the whole point, though.
Okay. And then.
Well, there's only one more there. So,
well, I guess yeah.
But I mean, you can phrase the sentence.
I can trick you up.
You can.
No, you're right. So, like, how would I use that in a sentence? Go look in their closet.
I'm not gonna lie. Wait, a part of me is like kind of scared. Like, what if I get the spelling? Like, I know it, but like, what if I get the spelling wrong?
Woo! You did it.
But yeah, no, and the two rules, like, no, I know it. Like,
I am the grammar police.
I do try to do my best, especially when I'm texting people. Like, I still try my best to like put punctuation and all that stuff, just because like there was a video that scared me sometime in high school where kids with good grades and stuff still didn't know how to, because of texting and shit. And forever then, it's kind of scared me. I'm like, awful. You know what? In texting, I'm still going to be punctual.
It's absolutely awful. But yeah, so what I actually really want to do, my like future goal, this is like my lifelong goal, is to go back to school and get either like, well, I guess I would have to get a bachelor's degree. I'd probably go back and get a bachelor's degree.
Are you going for your associates?
No, because I'm getting my bachelor's in, not even going to try to say it again because I messed it up 3 different times for my teaching degree. That's what we're going to say, because I'm not doing that again.
Elementary.
Stop. And I want to go back and get, I guess because, yeah, either a minor. I would either add the minor now or go back and get a bachelor's in English. Mm-hmm. And then I want to learn Japanese, and I want to move to Japan and teach English in Japan.
Nice.
That's my lifelong goal.
I feel that. Mm-hmm. I definitely do want to learn Japanese. Like, I want to learn, my next language that I would like to learn is Italian, just because if you know Spanish, learning Italian is going to be just slightly easier.
Yeah.
So I do want to learn that, or Portuguese. It's
Are you simple. Bilingual?
I know Spanish. I'm not like
fluent.
No,
you're not. Mm-hmm.
Like I know enough to kind of like get me by, but I do plan on getting it back. Like, I want to be fluent in it. And but that being said, like Italian or Portuguese is like what I kind of want to tackle, just because I know a little bit of Spanish. And then Japanese is definitely on that list. Like,
Japanese is actually one of the hardest languages to learn.
Yeah, I have a buddy who's trying to learn it, and it's took him 2 years, and he's like now getting some sentence down.
Wow.
But yeah, and some writing. But yeah, no, I definitely do want. The only reason why I want to is just so I can interview some of my favorite like game developers,
oh my gosh,
anime creators and stuff. Just so I can like talk to them in their language about the lore and stuff like that. That's the only reason why I want to learn it.
What's your favorite anime?
Oh, you put them in boxes. What the fuck?
Is it Dragon Ball Z?
Dragon Ball Z. I was going to be like... And then I noticed that he put it in boxes, but... Dragon Ball Z.
Mainstream. That's my ASMR for the day.
I couldn't hear you.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
No.
What'd you say?
I said mainstream.
And?
The audience will hear me. It's okay.
And what's wrong with that?
Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, Tokyo Ghoul.
Tokyo Ghoul's trash.
You're trash. Bye. I'm done. Leaving the interview right now.
My buddies try to get me into. I don't like. This is just me. I just don't like anything that's like too demonic. For like, not for no reason, but like. I mean, there's other issues I have with it, but it's the number one is I don't like things that are like too demonic. Yeah. So.
Is that just faith based?
No, it's just this is supposed to be about teaching, but now it's getting about it's
we're just shooting the shit. It's okay.
It's this is gonna be such a dead air. It's just like I don't know. I feel like
it's okay.
There's no substance. There's no like they're in a way trying to be violent for the sake of violence. Yeah, it's I don't know. It's just it's never grabbed me. There's always been like I also don't think it like this is where I'll sound preachy. I don't like like how like Black Butler is one that I used. Have you ever seen that or heard
that? I haven't actually.
Like the quick synopsis is just like there's this butler to a kid and he's a demon and all that stuff, but like he's the good guy. He's you know, everybody wants to be him and stuff. And I don't know, it's just like I don't think that's a good role model per se, but that's not like, you know, like America or anything.
Animes are meant for children though.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, you know, like Japan's thing and all that stuff, but like I'm just like, okay, cool. You can have your little demon hero. That's fine. Why not have like a good hero? Like, why does it always have to be like people
Studio
have this
Ghibli.
People have this notion of like demonic stuff and demon stuff can only be badass, and it's like no, not always. That's why I gravitate towards Shonen Jump. I know a lot of it's super cliche stuff, but I don't know. I like it.
Not a big fan of shonen animes.
I mean, I like them. I get they're not. I will not. I get their problems, and their formula is all the same. I like it. I'm never gonna defend it. I like it. Whatever.
Yeah. Even though Demon Slayer is technically a shonen anime.
Yeah.
And so is Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan is?
I feel like it's made by a shonen. It was in a shonen magazine. Yeah. I don't know if that considers it shonen.
I don't know either. I'd be surprised if it is.
I really like it. Demon Slayer's not bad.
Attack on Titan, I didn't like at first.
Oh, you have watched it?
Yeah.
The whole full.
No. I finished season 3, and then when season 4 was the final season started to premiere, I haven't seen a single episode yet. But Attack on Titan took me a minute. At first, I didn't like it. Then a friend started watching it, and he was like, "Oh, dude, you gotta like." I'll be honest, like halfway through, like season 2 is where it really picks up. So I sucked it up, and he was right.
Yeah, season 1 they just talk a lot. I don't like the useless talking. they could throw that out, and it would be perfectly fine.
What's one of your favorite animes?
Demon Slayer.
Right now. But like before
Attack on Titan right now is probably one of my favorites. Before Demon Slayer?
Yeah.
Death Note.
Yeah,
that's mainstream.
Wait, I wasn't even gonna say that. I'm glad you said Death Note. Do you like the whole Death Note or right before a certain part?
I liked it up until L died.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I was gonna try not to do spoilers, but never mind, you ruined it.
Shoot, totally forgot about that.
I was trying. I said up until a certain part.
You should have been. I'm really bad
Well, now
at spoilers.
that's it. L dies. All right. Anyways, move on, people. It's not like this show's mainstream anyway, so people can suck it up. Anyways, yeah, same. I enjoyed Death Note up until then, and I still get like I still watched it.
Was still good. You didn't think it was good?
I just thought the question I kept asking was why.
Yeah.
And I debated with somebody about it, and he didn't really give me a good answer. Like, oh, L knew he had to die in order to like beat Light, and I'm like, No, that would be cool if L left a will talking about
Yeah.
like here's what's going to happen, here's
Mhm.
how things need to play out, and then he has talk with people in his final moments, and then sets the motion. Cool. But no, it was just like, okay, L dies. We bring in two that are kind of like him, but like a little bit different,
Mhm.
and we have one that acts like him. Majority. What was his N?
Was it in?
Yeah,
I
N. I
haven't
think
watched it in so long.
I've only watched it once, but it is memorable. Like I can remember it,
Yeah.
and
I don't remember the other person's
uh,
name.
I will say it's a very unique anime though. Like I will tell people to watch it just because it's to me it's like the Breaking Bad of anime where the main character is the bad guy.
Never seen Breaking Bad. I don't watch shows. I told you I don't watch shows.
You did say that. Okay. My blood was boiling a little bit. I was just like, dude, Breaking Bad though.
I don't have the time for this. Tafario was trying to get me to start watching Euphoria, and I don't like starting and investing myself in shows. I just don't.
But you start animes.
Yeah, those are different.
No, how? Tell me right now.
They're
How's
only
it different?
20-minute episodes. Maybe sometimes 15 because of the beginning and the end. And I can sit there and watch that.
And you don't ever sit there and go like, I want more?
I mean, yeah, I've watched like over 20 hours of Attack on Titan. So
You're a walking contradiction. Like it's
yeah.
I don't yes, there's a lot of shows out there, not all are great. You watch Squid Games.
I did watch Squid Games. It was only because of the peer pressure.
Wow. But it's like Breaking Bad. Listen, it's not nothing. It's good. It's freaking good. But whatever.
I am about to throw this off topic though because
Okay.
I just remembered something and I wanted to bring it up today.
All right.
I don't like eggs.
Why do you want me to hate you so bad?
I just had to bring it up. I need to see how many other people I can get to hate me out there.
Start to
That's my
comment.
goal.
No, watch you have a huge
I know.
supporting like,
It's gonna
oh
be-
yeah, I'm with you, girl. Like, you know, fuck eggs and stuff like that.
Fuck eggs. We start the fuck egg movement.
Dude. I don't know what to be angry about right now.
I mean, you can't tell me you sit there and you're like, these taste so good.
Yes, I can eat eggs all day.
You know.
Like, especially like what's that movie?
Like you eat plain scrambled eggs and you think that texture, like the
Yeah.
texture, like I need you
Or
to sit
over
there.
easy, have it be runny. Oh my god.
That's so
Yes.
disgusting. I need you to sit there and
On
I
a
need you to
steak,
think
too?
about
Oh.
how the texture feels on your tongue
I was gonna say
as
something
you're
inappropriate.
crunching it in your mouth.
Yeah, it's great.
It's
And
disgusting.
My mouth is watering just thinking about it. And how dare society just have it like it's socially accepted only in breakfast time? I want eggs.
Oh no, you're about
during
to
lunch
hate
and
me
dinner.
even more.
Why?
I don't think you should eat breakfast past 11 o'clock.
Well, okay, that's fine. Like
Like anything. Like breakfast for dinner is a crime.
I'm not gonna combat you too hard on that, only because don't get me wrong, I love a good pancake and waffles, but it's not a dinner food. Like it doesn't like it fills me up for breakfast to get me to lunch, but if I have it for dinner, I'm gonna be hungry like 2 hours later. So
Yeah.
it doesn't hold me like a steak does. So
Okay.
I'm not gonna combat you hard on that.
Awesome.
Just eggs though, because like eggs and bacon, yet you can put bacon on just about anything. You can have it throughout, but not eggs. Eggs is just like pancakes, strictly in the whole breakfast category. And I kind of want that for my lunch or dinner.
I mean,
Some places, I mean, like Waffle House is always open, so.
but if you think about it, you do have eggs in your breakfast and dinner.
Where my dinner?
Like if you have like fried chicken, the batter's made.
Oh yeah,
eggs.
yeah, okay. But I meant
We're
like
delving deep into it.
I meant like eggs on it, runny, on my steak or chicken.
I mean, you could do it on a steak
I know.
and dinner. There's
Yeah,
nothing
just
wrong.
not a lot of places do it, is what I'm saying. Like, you can't go to a restaurant and be like, yeah, can I get my steak medium rare? Can I get an over easy egg on it? They'd be like, what?
Wait,
Some
what's that?
places,
What's that meal with the hollandaise sauce on it?
eggs Benedict.
Yeah, do they not serve that for like lunch and stuff, or is that strictly breakfast?
Certain places, like I said, yeah.
Huh. Okay. Hmm.
All right, so going back to teaching. All right, so you did wanted to talk about something about you told me before the show you wanted to say a message. So one of the topic you were like, "Oh, I don't know what topic I want to talk about." And then you brought up something about teaching, about like not that many people know about X, Y, and Z,
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's pretty well known, but it's mostly ignored
but needs
that
to be said.
yeah, I mean that teachers are overworked, underpaid, and underappreciated.
Mm-hmm.
They do so much. I mean, they work 8+ hour days, then they have to go home, grade papers. I mean, imagine dealing with 20 plus of you when you were 8 years old.
If there was another me, I feel bad for that teacher.
Exactly. And I mean, the highest that a teacher has ever been paid, ever. This excludes professors and everything. I assume this is like K through 12,
Mm-hmm.
$96,000.
Do you know what state?
I do not. I assume California because
California,
of
New
the
York, or whatever.
yeah. Cobb County is actually one of the highest paid teaching like
Oh,
salaries.
nice.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's in Georgia
All
in
my
the
friends
United
need to stop
States.
bitching then.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as a substitute teacher, I get paid $189 a day,
Mm-hmm.
but that's only because there's such a shortage of every teacher out there. I mean, in the next 10 years, the teaching shortage is going to be up, and we're going to need like 25% more
Mm-hmm.
teachers in 10 years. So I just, yeah.
Now, I'm not gonna combat you. I am gonna play a little bit of devil's advocate though, just because like I think it's gonna be more fun. But I'm not gonna combat you on it because I have no stake in the fight. But all right, so you said underpaid.
Mm-hmm.
One of the common things people talk about is like, anytime somebody brings up underpaid, it's like it's two talking points. One, you knew what you were signing up for, like people who go into like, it's like, for example, police officers, and people go like, oh, cops are you know underfunded and all that stuff. It's like, okay, well, like, you kind of knew what you were signing up for. Nobody tricked you. No one had promised you like, oh, it's gonna be like this, and then they take the rug under you, so to speak. And then
I'm
the
gonna
second,
stop you there, and I'm
yeah,
gonna answer you because I will forget what you're gonna
okay,
say, and I will forget what I'm gonna
all
say.
right,
I don't disagree with you that we don't know what we signed up for. Like I said earlier, I'm becoming a teacher to push the world into a better place.
mm-hmm.
I want to help the next generation. It's not for me. It's not for my sake. It's for the next generation's sake.
Yeah.
It's just like police officers. I mean, do we like the pay? No. But is it something that we're passionate about, and it's something
I mean, it's
that we're
not
gonna
saying
do?
that it cannot
Yeah.
get improved on, for
But
sure.
it needs to be improved.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the hours that we spend in the classrooms and out of the classrooms, making lesson plans, cleaning the classrooms, grading homework, it's not like up to par with what other people get paid. I mean, I make more right now as a server than I ever will as a teacher.
Mm.
That's pretty disgusting if you ask me. Like, you think that somebody raising the next generation is going to do the same work as a server for $30,000 a year?
Mm.
That's insane to ask of somebody.
I'm not combating you.
Hey.
Yeah. I listen. I know where you're coming from. Again, like my brother, he's a high school teacher, and I totally get it. What I'm saying, I'm just devil's advocate here. But like, see, what you listed off though is things that are already expected of a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be a bad example, but bear with me. So it's almost like a doctor explain, like if they didn't get paid as much as they do, it's almost like a doctor going like, oh man, like they expect me to like, treat this patient, do these things, like write lab notes and all that stuff. It's
I
like,
was
wait,
gonna
that's
use
your
that as
that's your
an
job
example.
though.
But can I compare this with an even worse example?
Go ahead.
McDonald's workers.
Yeah.
They want $15 an hour to flip some damn burgers.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
but do they do proper work for what they get paid now?
Yeah. I mean, but like, that's my whole point though. It's like that you have a certain set of responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not a secret. But okay.
But those responsibilities are going up. The boom of enrollments has been insane.
Okay, so that's what you're saying. Like, okay, teachers are getting a little bit more responsibility, yet the pay hasn't increased.
Basically,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that one you have some standing. Okay,
Yeah.
I get that. The second thing about it though is that with teaching specifically is that some people feel like, all right, yeah, like you can get paid more if you're an actually good teacher at a good district and at a good school and stuff like that. How do you feel about that? Like, I don't think, basically, here's just me, just outside looking in. I don't think you should get paid more just because you're a teacher. I think you should get paid more amongst your teachers if you're better. Like, out of all the math teachers, your students are improving. Your students are doing. How are you
gonna look at that?
Well, with tests and stuff like that.
So standardized tests.
Well, not necessarily.
This is gonna bring in a whole new topic.
I mean, we can. I mean, I got no. I don't care. But like, what I'm saying is that, okay. So like, before we get into that, shots
of lemonade.
Shots of lemonade. Exactly. Love it, sweet.
I was gonna chase it with chocolate milk. My lemonade with chocolate milk. I don't think that's a good idea.
You could do you. I got water here, but I don't need to chase it. Things that are sweet, I don't need to chase. With it's already good. What was I saying? Standardized tests. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, you know what? Before I say anything, I've been talking too much. All right, what do you say your piece on standardized tests, and then I'll say.
Well, I feel like you need to go back.
Wait, real quick. I'm just gonna let you know this. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I've heard the opinion. I'm not a teacher. I've heard the opinions on standardized tests. I think they're wrong. I think I can destroy it. Me, DJ, normal dude, I think I can destroy it, but I'm going to let you talk.
Destroy the opinions on standardized tests?
I really think I can. I think I got a solid argument for it, because I made it before to a teacher, and then she was like, I never thought about that. And then I was like, I'm just saying. I'm not trying to gloat. I'm like, I don't think people saw it this way.
You're good.
Okay.
I don't think they should be used because an artist isn't going to need to learn math for the rest of their life. They don't need to know Algebra 2. Anything past geometry or Algebra 2, I don't think that they will ever need. A dancer isn't going to need to know E equals MC squared. It's an awful example, but you know what I'm getting at.
You're making a good example, and I'm gonna use that for another point.
All right.
Go.
But the thing is, not everybody has their strong points in certain subjects.
Yeah.
Some people are gonna be musicians, artists, models, things like that, and you don't need to know all of these things. So to put somebody in a category with all of these other people who may be really good at standardized tests is wrong.
Yeah, I feel that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All
right. My turn?
Yep.
Okay. I agree with you if you were talking about college or trade school, because at that point you have a choice. Like, for me, for example, I'm going in for dental hygiene and stuff. I don't see a point. I'm not saying that history is not important. I'm not saying that whatsoever. I'm just saying I don't see the point of me having to learn U.S. history again when I'm just going into dental hygiene. I get the argument to take math and science because that's more along the lines of what I'm going to be doing as my career. I get that if you were talking about college. But if we're going to talk about elementary, middle, and high school, this is where like the general education, like, okay, yes, I understand that you're not going to use this math formula for whatever you want to do in life, but right now, like, you need a still well-rounded education. You as an individual being able to tackle math, science, history, and literature does help your brain. It's a workout for your brain. And so it helps you grow. If your weakest subject is literature, for me, I'm going to use myself in this example. Literature is my my worst subject, and math is my greatest subject. I need to find out how well I do in math, what are some of the tips and tricks, and I need to find a way how to implement that in literature so I can pass literature. But that's helping my brain. That's just helping me become an all-around educated individual. I'm still not going to be like, fucking Einstein or anything, but it just helps. Now with standardized tests though, where I think people have a problem with it, and it's weird. It's like, oh, we shouldn't test people, especially because, like, what if like the teacher gets a bad batch of just unmotivated kids, and they don't do well at the test, and it shows in the teacher's stats, like, hey, you're just not good, you weren't able to motivate these kids. It sucks, and that's going to happen. The world's not perfect, but my argument to that is, you don't hire a personal trainer or a doctor or anybody who doesn't have like good stats. Stats exist no matter what. You need these tests, and you need the educator, because the educator's not perfect as well. The educator needs to find a way how, like, okay, I got a class of unmotivated kids. What can I do as an educator to motivate them? That's the battle that educators and students have to face. And to me, it's like a puzzle. And where I said I feel like I can destroy it is that, like I use personal trainer for this example. If you're wanting to lose weight, you're not going to hire a personal trainer who has a bad record of students and stuff. You're going to hire one that has a good student, and the one or has good records. And that being said, the person with good records probably gets paid a little bit more. Why? Because their methods work in a way. So you should get paid for your value.
Okay, so I'm going to argue that right there.
Real quick. Same with an artist. If an artist, whether it's music or painting, if they know what they have, if their their art, whatever value, they put so much work into it, people love it, people are willing to buy it, they're allowed to charge whatever they want for it. But if their art sucks, you're not gonna buy $1,000 art from some artist who sucks, who just draws like me in stick figures. So that's how I see it with standardized tests. I get that some people might, get their nerves hit, but I think it should motivate you. Be like, okay, if there's an incentive to get paid more, I need to show that out of all the math teachers, I'm better than them because I'm willing to go above and beyond. I don't know, something along the lines.
Okay, so I think that there is a way around that, actually. Okay. Private schools. Yeah. Private schools pay teachers more.
Yeah.
They hire better teachers.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
They still have tests,
But
though.
do you know how expensive private schools are?
Yeah.
What about the people who can't afford to send their kids to private schools?
But that's not saying that... We're talking about why a teacher should get paid more. I'm all for teachers getting paid more if they deserve it. Just because they're going into teachings, I don't think they should get paid more. Now, I'm not saying I'm right. There is an argument to be made, like you said, that teachers have been getting more responsibility and their pay hasn't increased. I give you that. But like, if Joe Schmo decides up one day he wants to be a teacher, and then he sees the average salary, and then he decides, no, I think I should get paid more. Well, do better than other teachers, and then we'll talk about you getting paid more. I'm all for people getting paid more than the average, as long as you're not the average. You're above and beyond. When you come to me and you say, I think I should get paid more, I should be able to look at your records and say, yeah, you do deserve to get paid more because you do more.
See, the problem with that is schools are strictly off of government funding. And
public schools?
Yes.
I feel like they're like primary is government funding.
Most of them
and taxpayers.
Yeah, exactly. So your taxes are going to pay us. Do you really want to fork out more taxes to pay teachers better? Thank you. So where is this pay increase going to come from?
I'm not going to get into specifics, but I do think there are certain programs that are overfunded. Not gonna say which
I
program,
won't go
sports,
into that either.
but like there are some. Yeah. Oh man, my old high school. I found this out. I'm not gonna say the teacher, and just for the sake of it, I'm not gonna say the high school, even though somebody can easily look this up. A teacher showed me like some of the budget of where things go. It was a scaring amount of how much certain programs got.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that they don't deserve it. It's scary, like how big the difference is in certain things. Like, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. So I agree. But standardized tests, so in other countries, they are, let's take Germany for an example. So Germany, they are probably one of the most successful people in the world, their whole country, because of the way that their students are raised. I haven't looked at the pay in there. I'm not sure how much teachers get paid there, but their students from a young age get taken, and they do get tested, but they get tested for what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are. So as soon as they figure out their strengths, they are put into that route to go towards their strengths. So say that they're good at science. They're going to be put into a science major from probably elementary school and work their way up in the science field because that's what they're good at. And they will become biologists. They will become anything to do with science, astrologists, anything.
Yeah.
And vice versa in math, anything else.
Yeah. My thing is, and that's great if that's the case. I don't know what the success rate is, but
it's awful in the United States, just to let you know.
My thing is though is that I feel like it kind of off topic, not really, is that I feel like especially here in America, people have this romanticized feelings of like, oh, what about the art students and stuff like that? And I'm not knocking. Okay, I actually said this in my sociology class, and I'm really proud of it. But like, I did come up across as a dick. Not sorry. If you can learn it, like, you shouldn't go to school for everything. There are some worthless degrees out there. Can we agree on that? Okay, this is what I said, and I'm kind of proud of myself for this. I don't know if anybody said this, but I feel proud. If you can learn it on YouTube, you should not go to school for it.
Yeah.
Simple as that. You can't learn how to operate.
But we're not talking about college.
Well,
we're not talking about arts.
Look, I'll get to that. That being said, I feel like, because this was me in high school, like I wanted to be an actor for the longest time. I was also in orchestra. I wanted to do that. And there was no support system in my school. And I hate to say it, and the people around me that was like, hey, listen, that's great that you want to be an actor. That's great that you want to be a musician. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's not a help wanted sign for any of those. Like you gotta at least learn a skill to like help you one, find a job, and a good paying job to help you fund that passion. And like there's nothing wrong with success stories about like, oh, an actor, a musician, or a painter who was homeless and then they finally got that break and all that stuff. They didn't give up. That's great. It's a great story. But like for the vast majority, it's good to, not necessarily go to college, but like get a trade skill, like learn something, be a part of a society get a job, and slowly and surely fund your passion, and then hopefully something will come of it. And I think in high school, we have it, again, using me because this happened to me. I did have that mindset, like, oh, why do I need to get better at literature or history? I'm just gonna be an actor and all that stuff. And I basically, I haven't had an adult really tell me, it's like, all right, that's a dream. We need to work on reality, and then you can work on your dream later. So I don't know. That's just me. That's what I went through.
Yeah, I feel that. I definitely think that there should be more work put into people going to trade schools, because the issue with our school system is that these kids are pushed into college.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically told that college is the only way. This is the only way you're going to be successful.
Yeah.
You got to go to college, or you're going to be a dropout, and you're going to be a druggie, and you're going to suck at life, essentially.
Yep.
It's what everybody's always scared into. And just like you were saying, trade school is a very good tool, and I think more people should be pushed that way, or to not go to college in general. Because you're right, college to some degree is pointless for certain people. I think that we should start helping out the generation. Just like I said, this goes back to my point of standardized tests should not be used. You should help direct these people into the line of work that they fit the best. And you don't always have to go to college for that. If somebody's a good manager, they can manage a restaurant. They can manage a business. You don't have to go to college to be a business owner, to be anywhere in the top tier of any businesses or associations.
No, yeah, you're right. And now what sucks is that, like, mainly corporate businesses, if you want to move up the chain of command, you need a college degree. Doesn't matter what's it on. They just want you to be like, oh, you're college educated.
Yeah.
Like, you deserve to get promoted. Like,
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What about the person that's been in the company for 20 years, knows the ins and outs? That person deserves to get promoted way more than some guy who went to a school for science. Yeah, we're about business.
See, but let me use that in the example going back to teachers getting paid more. What if somebody comes in with a doctorate degree and wants to teach freaking science to first graders? Are they going to get paid more because they have a doctorate compared to this 30-year-old, or not a 30-year-old, but a teacher who's been teaching for 30 years that has done their job correctly and doesn't have a degree like that? Are they going to get paid just as much as this person with the doctorate?
No, yeah, like,
you can't, because then that person with the doctorate is going to be like, really? So we're on the same level?
Yeah.
It's like asking a doctor to do his same work for $30,000. It doesn't matter if he's passionate about it or not. He's not getting paid for doing 12-hour shifts.
Yeah. On a side note, I'm so against doctors in other positions other than medical.
What do you mean?
Like, oh, I'm a doctor in
philosophy.
English.
Can we talk about philosophy? Because I freaking dropped that class and all of those people are pretentious assholes.
That's yes. All. Oh my God. Yes. Oh man. We'll talk about that. But like, it basically, if somebody goes like, oh, like, I'll use me. I'm Dr. Jimenez. It's like, oh, what are you a doctor of? Oh, English.
Yeah.
And stuff. It's like, you're not a doctor. Get off your freaking high horse. I don't care if you're doctor, your PhD. See,
but like MD is different. PhD
MD is different. Yeah. And like, somebody used this example. I forgot who. This was years ago. It was in a college auditorium. This professor was talking about this other professor, I guess, that had a doctorate. They weren't a medical doctor, and he said something like Miss or Mister. And a student was like, actually, it's doctor. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, if I have a heart attack right now, can she help me? Or he? And then the whole class like laughed and stuff. And that's a good point, though. And it's like, yes, if you come up to me and you're like, oh, I'm Dr. Smith and whatever. And somebody, I almost want to be able to, like, if I find out that you have a doctor in something not medical and you're so pretentious about that title, I almost want to pay somebody to have a heart
they
attack.
spent well over $100,000 to get there.
Yeah.
So they have this 2-letter word in front of their name, and they have to let you know that they paid over $100,000.
Exactly. Thank you. And I almost want to pay somebody to fake a heart attack and be like, "Hey, doctor, you need to help this person out."
No,
it's like,
I got a doctorate in history. I don't know anything about that.
I have a doctor in history. It's like, then don't fucking say you're a doctor. You're not a doctor. Like, I don't care.
Well, then what would their $100,000 degree be
I don't
worth?
give a shit. Like, I hate that so freaking much.
I can agree with that because they
call
are
it something else. I'm fine with another title. Just.
But what would the title be? Should we come up with something right here?
Emperor.
Right Emperor.
you want your egos.
What about gods and goddesses?
There
would
you
that
go.
Make it any better? Same thing. They act like it, so
I know.
Well.
It's just like, God, it like pisses me off to no end. Like this doctors. It's like, you're not a doctor. Yeah. I will seriously tell somebody to their face if they're like, I'm a doctor in history. You're not a doctor. Yes, I am. No, you're not.
Have you said that to your history teacher yet?
I haven't had a history teacher that said I'm doctor.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's surprising.
I haven't had a doctor professor, and I will.
I guess it's more common at Kennesaw.
Give me the Kennesaw. I'll be like, hey, you're not a doctor. Just.
You can email my philosophy professor.
Good.
Because I didn't address her with doctor, and she literally would not respond to my email. She said, you can go read the syllabus and see how you're supposed to address me. And I was like, no, I'm just going to drop this class because I'm not dealing with
that's
pretentious
hilarious
fucking attitude. Not doing it.
Dude, it's, God, the ego trip.
Ego trip of philosophy people in general. Have you taken a philosophy class?
No, and I don't have to, but like...
Don't.
Yeah. No, talk about it though.
It's awful. It's absolutely awful. You're literally learning how to argue with bigger words. Like, that's literally it. They just want to act like they have some degree to mean something. Like, we were learning about fallacies. This is when I dropped the class. I was like, it's basically just telling me different ways to argue. I don't need different ways to argue.
No, I love arguing. I love a debate. But you don't have to use big words. It's a technique, actually.
It is a technique.
To scare the other person, to make them insecure and think like, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's all it is.
Yeah. And I signed up.
But just as long as you know what you're talking about and you can back up your points and not get emotional, they're done. I'll beat anybody in the topic. Like, whatever.
I signed up to talk about Buddha and stuff. I did not sign up to talk about freaking fallacies.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Worst experience. I will never do that again. I just said screw it and I'm going to take World Lit.
Actually, now that you mention it, I think it's...
You have an option.
Yeah, I think I have I think it's one of my electives.
You should take philosophy and see... You should let me know how it goes.
You know what? Man, but I got to pass the class, though.
No, you could just withdraw and then take World Lit next semester.
Not next. I'm not trying to waste any more time. No, you know what? I'll drop and then add another class. Exactly. Quickly. Okay.
Or just add both of the classes.
That's right. Yeah. There you go.
And then take both of them for a couple of weeks, and then you can just drop that one that you want. Mm-hmm.
Just like I still have an elective that I need to graduate. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah. Yeah. But I have to look up the professors teaching it. I got to find that one doctor. And then be like, all right.
Oh yeah, I can't even pronounce her name.
Yeah.
Yeah. They knew that they got a worthless degree, so they want everybody to know that they have a doctor in front of their name when they teach.
I remember seeing years ago. I think there's a video on it of like the top 10 worthless degrees out there. Number 1 was theater. Which sucked, but I laughed because I was a theater kid in high school.
Oh no.
Sociology, psychology, but like the low level. In order to do something with psychology,
you would need a doctorate.
Yeah, and that one, there's an argument to be made like you're an actual doctor because with the mind and stuff like that, you can actually prescribe medicine.
Well, it depends on what degree you get. Most psychologists actually can't supply.
Prescribe.
I don't know where I was going with that.
You were thinking YouTube subscribe or something.
Subscribe.
You heard it here.
No, but you have to get like an MD to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an extra degree, but like you have to have a doctorate and then an MD.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like one of the two. Psychologist, psychiatrist, two different people.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think, what is it? Psychologists can psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. God, they're so confusing.
Yeah.
But psychiatrists can prescribe, psychologists cannot. No.
Tafaria can talk about this when she comes on for mental
I
health.
can't wait. That's gonna be a fun episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like sociology, psychology, theater. I remember theater being number one. Film, music. Yeah, there was other ones, but yeah, I was just like kind of laughing at that. I'd be like, oh, this is gonna piss off some people. But with teaching though, like going back to it, I keep saying that. I need to stop saying that. Like, it's going back, we're always like
going back.
I love it. But okay, so getting away from pay though, now let's talk about responsibility, because this is, again, just playing devil's advocate. I have no stake in the fight. I have no kid.
Okay.
How do you feel? Because I know you talked about this, and I've been just watching some stuff like on the news or trending or whatever. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about like some teachers kind of trying to, in a way, implement like a parental role in their students' life, to the point where parents are getting angry about this?
Can you give me an example?
There was this happened, I think 2021. Still probably like a couple of months, but it was in 2021. There was a kid that basically it was in high school, and a teacher was just telling this kid that like you should go and pursue this and whatnot. I think the kid was in sports or something, and like loved it and all that, and the teacher like convinced them to like quit it to pursue something else, and parents got really upset. It's like, yo, you're just a teacher, you're supposed to teach the subject, not interfere with my kid's life like that. Mm-hmm. That's my job. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that?
I agree with that. I mean, I have taken ethics courses, and there are certain roles that you should not step over in your job. Now, our job is to make everybody feel safe.
Yeah.
And that is an environment where they are supposed to be comfortable. If their home situation isn't up to par, or they have a bad home life, they should be able to come to school, and they should be able to confide in us and have a good experience while they're at school. That's where they need to feel safe. Overstepping certain boundaries, such as telling them what they should do with their life, unless they ask you, I don't believe you should be doing that. High school may be totally different, but there's still certain boundaries that you can't overstep. They're just like any relationship with any of your coworkers. You shouldn't have overstepped any of those boundaries. So you kind of have to look at these kids as your coworkers, because there's certain lines that you can't overstep.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have their phone number. You shouldn't be telling them what to do outside of the classroom other than homework and stuff. So that's how I feel about that. I would agree that they shouldn't act as parents in certain ways. They are teaching them, which is a parent's job, but in certain aspects other than school subjects strictly, they shouldn't overbear and overstep.
Yeah.
And I also would like to go back to the pay.
All right.
I have another thing. I sit here and
good.
I'm sorry. I sit here and I think about things. I'm like, ooh, that would have been really good to bring up.
You ever had those like shower thoughts?
Yes,
like,
the arguments, and you're like, I should have freaking said that. Yeah. Yes, all the time.
Yeah.
But okay, so especially with COVID and everything, I'm like preparing. I'm like, with COVID and I hate to bring this up, but like with Sandy Hook shooting and everything, these teachers are asked to go and risk their lives for these students every single day for $30,000. They understand their roles and responsibilities, but did they necessarily sign up for violence, for outbreaks in diseases and viruses? Did they really sign up for that with the pay? Were they asked to risk their physical life when they signed up to teach these children?
I think that argument falls flat though. I'm sorry, because that's like, I think you and I can both agree that, COVID sucks. Sandy Hook shooting sucks. No one is prepared for that. Like, I hate to make it dark, but it's like us working at the restaurant. We're not expecting somebody to just go ape shit crazy, like God forbid that happens. But it's like, I feel like if you and I were to go and apply to a place like that, you wouldn't want like a freaking thick textbook of like all these different worldly possibilities that could happen, and we gotta sign like, hey, we're prepared for any of these crazy shit to happen. So like, that sucks. And in a cartoonish way, like, I wouldn't want somebody like COVID. I'm not even gonna use Sandy Hook. Like COVID happening, like, oh, pandemic, and then it's like, oh, there's a pandemic. Hey, I want to get paid more. There's a pandemic going on. It's like, listen, that sucks, but like, that's not a green light excuse. Like, oh, we need to get paid more, because if that's the case, jobs where people have a higher chance of putting their life on the line, there's an argument like, hey, we should get paid more. Again, like,
do you disagree that they don't get paid enough?
No, but I'm saying that that argument to me falls flat.
Military?
Because that's the whole point. Like, hey, I'm literally putting myself in bullets' way. I deserve to get paid more. And I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't. I'm saying that we shouldn't use such a extreme example to be able to say like, hey, I deserve to get paid more because like of this risk.
But it's not like it just happened one time. It has happened multiple times across the country.
Let me put it this way. Like, hate to use this.
I know.
With school shooting. I'm willing to bet, maybe you can prove me wrong. You get your degree. You get your teaching certification. I don't think you're going to go to a school, like say you find a school that has had like multiple school shootings in 1 year, and then you get a teaching offer at another school that hasn't had not one school shooting ever. And you know what? They're even safer. They got like security and all that stuff. They're great. Yet in this school, the safe school, you're only going to get paid $30,000. And this risky school, you're going to get paid $100,000. I don't think you are going to be like, well, it's $100,000. I'm gonna risk it. I don't think, no. Like,
I don't think you know me too well.
You're right. I don't know you. I hope I'm wrong. But like, I don't. Basically, that being said, I don't think that you should use such an extreme example, an extreme scenario to justify getting paid more. Again, I'm all for teachers getting paid more. I'm never going to stand in the way like, hey, DJ, you are what's standing in the way of teachers getting paid more. I'd be like, I'm in the wrong line. I do not want to be in this line. It's just, I'm not going to say for the sake of like, oh yeah, you should just get paid more just in general. Why? Because I've met bad teachers. Like, I think you've had bad teachers too. I'm willing to bet on that. I've had, like, I was bad at literature, not because, yeah, literature is my weakest subject, but also because I had bad teachers. I'll never forget this. One thing I did when I was younger, I would always ask for help. When I'm not a shy guy, like, you know that I'm not shy, and as a kid I wasn't shy, and I would always ask for help. It's gotten to the point where teachers gave up on me, and they would always say the most common thing to me. They would say, you know what, figure it out. And it sucked, and it like scarred me a little bit for just literature.
But do you think that's because of the pay? Do you think that's because how
But
much they are asked to do, and it may drive their passion away because of how much they work, because of how much stuff that they have to bring home to do, because of all the lesson plans that they have to make?
I'm not saying that teachers don't have an easy or doesn't have a hard job. I get there's stress in every single job. I'm not saying what they do is easy. What I'm saying is that it sucks to be told that as a kid. And then if you were to interview young DJ at that time and ask him, hey, do you think teachers deserve to get paid more? He would say no.
Yeah.
100%. He'd be like, no, teachers don't get paid.
Well, there's certain people who should definitely not be teachers because it's not what they're passionate about.
Yeah. And my brother even told me that there's a teacher in Florida that he was like, just making conversation with this guy. He was like, so why'd you become a teacher? And he was like, the vacation.
Yeah.
Like the summer vacation.
Exactly.
I don't doubt that there's that as well. But being fair, if you're just in it for the money, but your stats are good, like students who take your class understand the subject better, they score high in tests, they've improved. To me, on paper, you're a good teacher.
See, but what about the statistical logic of that? What if you do have just a class that is completely unmotivated, like you said,
Yeah.
or completely full of brainiacs? That could definitely affect somebody's pay when it's not their fault.
100%. That's nothing is.
That's a gamble.
It is, and that's the whole point. Like, okay,
it's also not something that somebody would be risking to take with taxpayer dollars. Can
yeah.
you bring that up?
But like the thing is that when that happens, especially the example of unmotivated kids, when you get that. I've never been in that situation. I hope to never. I don't want to be a teacher, but I imagine like that's one of the struggles you as an educator have to face. It's like you have a choice. Keep teaching the way you're teaching and hope for the best, or spend a little bit of time, whether it's more time outside of the classroom, even in your private time, to find a way how to reach the kids. And I know that people are going to make jokes about how do I reach these kids? But
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but I think that's the struggle, because it like I have a martial arts experience. Every instructor, I mean, it's hands-on, so every instructor does a good job of like, okay, changing their lesson plan to help one kid. Classes are smaller and more focused.
All right, stop right there. Classes are smaller. I was talking about this earlier about how enrollment is going up.
Yes.
So how is a teacher supposed to reach 5 kids if they have a 45, 50 kid class?
Yeah.
It's even harder to work with one-on-one, and then you're risking educating multiple children over just working with a couple to make sure that they understand the content.
Yeah.
Which makes our job even harder.
I do agree that classes need to be smaller, and you're right that like what'd you say, like in the beginning, that there's going to be an increase of teachers, or we're going to need
and there's a teacher shortage right now.
As is. I do think we need more teachers for that, because I myself remember being in a class full of 20 kids, and then like a couple of years later it was 30 kids. I do remember that. So I think the more teachers there are, the more classrooms you can build and make the class size a little bit smaller, so they're able to focus on each individual. And I know private school has that edge, but like I you're right. I do think we need more teachers to try to balance that out.
It brings in the question of monetary reasons again, though.
Yeah.
Who's going to pay for it? How are we going to build these schools big enough to fit all these teachers?
Yeah.
When do taxpayers refuse to have more money taken out to pay more teachers?
Yeah.
To pay teachers better?
Yeah, I don't have the answers here. I'm just spitting some questions and
well,
some
me
ideas.
Too. I'm just pondering.
No,
but
you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, I briefly talked about this at work. That's some of the appeal to like homeschools and stuff like that.
You did say you wanted to homeschool. You're crazy.
Well, that I'm open to it.
But you said you never wanted to be a teacher.
No, I'm saying that I'm open to it. that I'm not like, there are some people who are like ex homeschool, like, no.
Me.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not ex anything. I'm open to what, basically when I have a kid, I want to give my kid the world. So if I'm able to talk with the wife and be like, and if she looks me dead in the eye, she did the research and she goes like, hey, homeschool is the best thing for our child. I'm gonna be like, let's do it. We're a team. Let's go. If she says private school is, we need to work another job, we need to pay, we need to do all this, I'd be like, let's do it. If she says public school is the best, but we need to move to said state and city, I'd be like, let's do it. Anything for my kid, I'm going to do. But like, there are some people that are so ex, like you said, like you're ex homeschool. I'm not ex anything. I've seen some homeschool kids who've done well. I've seen some of the stats, and I've seen stats of public school. Right now, I'm only biased towards my old school. I'm not taking my kid there. Fuck that.
Same.
But other than that, my brother, he has my niece, and him and his wife did research on a school it's a public school for their daughter, and they were like, this school's got good reviews and all that stuff. We're gonna take her there and see how things go. They're not marrying it. They're just gonna see how things go, and that's how it should be.
Mm-hmm.
It should be flexible. If I do homeschool for my kid, but realize, my kid's not gravitating towards it, then I don't have to marry homeschool. We'll find something else. But I'm just not ex anything.
I'm totally against having kids.
Well, I know that, but like homeschool. Let's go with homeschool.
Well, I mean, I just don't think you should bring a kid into the world right now. But that's a story for another time.
Okay, yeah, but like, screw all that. Why are you ex homeschool though?
I just wanted to bring that topic up.
Oh, I was thinking like, oh no, actually, DJ, here are the stats of homeschool, and I was gonna be like, oh wow, I didn't know that.
I don't know any of the stats of homeschool. I haven't looked into it too much, but I do personally believe it stunts their social growth. That's about it.
That's the first thing people bring. It's like, oh, they're gonna be social.
Because it does.
No,
it stunts
doesn't.
their social growth 100%.
No.
Yes.
No, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know one of the ways it doesn't? You're still with your parents, and the thing is, one thing that your parents still teach you, I don't know about other people's parents, but my parents, is whenever we went out to restaurants, they told me to say please and thank you, and how to treat others with respect and stuff like that. And that kind of, and especially in restaurants, when like I've gotten older and they're like, you can order for yourself, they got me to like look the waiter in the eye and tell them what I want and say please and thank you.
Can't you do that on the weekends?
What do you mean?
When you're not in school?
But what I'm saying is that the parents like, I think people overshoot
an insecure attachment.
I think people think of homeschool that they're like a bubble
psychology,
boy, that they never leave the house. It's
they
like,
don't,
because
they're constantly with their parent.
No,
so that
they
creates
do, and they still get to be a part of sports
attachment.
and stuff like that, or other activities.
So
like,
you're gonna force your kids into sports,
and then
like
you mentioned that force kids into sports. No, I'm not gonna force my kid into anything, but I'm gonna get them into sports, like okay, when you, especially if I have a son, like boys are a little bit more energetic than girls. They need an outlet to release that energy. No, they're both energetic. I'm just saying boys just a little bit more than girls. I'm still gonna, boy or girl, son or daughter, they're still gonna try sports up until they realize that, that they don't like it. It's like, hey dad, I'm not a fan of martial arts. It's like, okay, what do you want to do then? And if he's old enough to tell me what he wants to do, if he says to me, I kind of want to work with computers, then we're going to have you work with computers and stuff. That's great. But you're going to learn how to do something. You're just not going to not do anything. It's not going to be school.
What if they don't want to do anything? What if they're completely unmotivated?
No, and then we talk.
Are you still going to love them?
Kids want to do something.
No.
Yes, they do. Kids do not.
What about when they get older? What are you going to do when they're like, screw all this. I don't like any of this. I'm unmotivated. I want to sit at home and play video games and drink all day.
That's, honey, did you cheat on me? Because that's not my kid.
He said, "Who is this?"
You know what? I'm not gonna answer that because I will cross that bridge when I get to it because I'm very confident.
What if they want to
that
pick up all their stuff and move to California and try to become an actor?
I will tell him you're allowed to pursue that if you can get past me through this door. I'm gonna wrestle you down and beat some sense into you.
Yeah.
Not gonna let that happen.
I think people have kids for the wrong reason.
Some, but it's such a small number, but people want to take that and make it bigger than what it actually is.
No, I
Are
think
there
a
bad?
lot of people are just trying to fix something within themselves and raise them to
There
have
are
a better
people.
childhood than they did. When in reality, they're trying to push them into something that these kids actually don't want to do because they don't realize it's not you. It's a
Yeah.
whole other human that you've brought into this
There's
world.
oh damn. There's a term for that. I think it's like legacy something. I actually learned this in psychology. It's funny.
I love psychology.
And I totally was like, I'm never gonna use
psychology
this.
is extremely useful, honestly. I really loved my psychology class.
No, I enjoyed
having
my
a
psychology.
doctorate in it, getting a degree. No, should everybody learn it? Yes.
I don't disagree. Yeah. I think it's fun.
It's interesting.
It is interesting. But basically, what I was gonna say is that is an actual thing. It's like basically, mom or dad, whatever, like they had such a legacy, or they didn't have a legacy, but they want to push that onto their kid. What's that? The mom pageant thing, daughter. You know what I'm talking about? Oh my
god, yeah.
That's like the clear example of that.
Yeah, it was like on TLC.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh god, Honey Boo Boo.
Yeah, stuff like oh god. But that's my point. It's like that's example of bad parenting.
Yeah.
There are stuff like that,
like dance moms and stuff.
Yeah. And then the dad who was like the football star in high school and college, and now you have to be that. You can't be anything else. You got to carry on my legacy. My dad did it. I did it. Now you have to do it. If it's not in there can be in a positive outlet of that. Like I've met people, especially in the military. It was like, my grandfather served, my dad served, and now I'm gonna serve. But they want to. They chose that for themselves, so that's different. But that being said, I'm not gonna force anything onto my kid. A parent. One of the worst things I was talking to Alec about this on the podcast. One of the worst things you can do as a parent is when your kid is showing signs of like interest in something, and you don't do whatever you can in your power to try to put them in that field. I think it's horrible. Like even if it's like money troubles or time, that's your job as a parent, is to be able to, because all your kid wants to do is like, say your kid wants to dance, and but your kid obviously doesn't know the world, doesn't know the business, doesn't know how to get out there. That's your job as a parent. You know how to do research, you know how to get out there and put your kid into that. To me, that's an important thing. Are there bad parents out there? Yeah. Are there bad mainly bad parents? Yeah. But that's such a small number, and people like to think like, oh, it's such a big bad thing. And then
I disagree that it's a small number.
I think it's a small number. I think the proof is if it was a bigger number,
it goes unreported.
Well, I mean, if we were to open that, and I'm not saying that that's not true, but like if we were to say like, oh, it is a big number, it's just unreported, just to support what I'm saying, then I feel like, well, I can't argue that, because then you can use that for everything else. It's like, oh, the stats don't show that. Oh, it's unreported. Well, then the argument stops there.
Do you know the stats of good parents versus bad parents, though?
Well, it's not. There's not a stat about good parent versus bad parent.
No, but you can look at the stats of abuse, neglect,
and
childhood trauma, mental health issues.
And I think the number is not as bad. Like it. Listen,
the number of mental health issues.
1% is still
millions of people have mental health issues.
1% is already too much. So what I'm saying is that I don't think it's as high as what people make it out to be. And I'm talking about parents, like neglect, abuse, and all that stuff. No, I don't think the number is as high as people think it out to be. And then even if the number was high, screw that. I like to talk to people in an individual level, and it's basically like, okay, there are a lot of bad parents. Are you going to be a bad parent? And if you look me in the eyes and say, no, I'm not going to be a bad parent, then it's like, okay, good. Like, I'm going to hold you to that. But I when like, I mean, I'm not judging you. If you don't want to have a kid, you don't want to have a kid. That's your choice. But like, when people say things like, oh, I don't want to bring a kid into this world because there's so many like bad things. To me, I'm like, in a dark way, okay, then why don't you end your life right now? And it's like, because if there's so many bad things, then there's no point in living. But you're living because you acknowledge that there are some good in the world. I like the fact that there's more bad things and a very few good things. Why? Because it makes the good things worth it. Like, you want to go out, you want to protect it, you want to seek it out. And to me, I can't wait to bring a kid into this world and raise him or her to be a warrior, and be like, man, certain things sucks, but man, how awesome is snowboarding? And I'll be like, right. But like, I'm glad I brought you into this world so you can enjoy certain things. And maybe they're going to enjoy certain things that I don't know. And I'm going to share that with them.
I would personally like to adopt if I was ever going to have a kid.
Yeah.
Just because there are so many children that need help. Why bring another human into this world when there are so many out there that need help?
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to adoption. No. So here, final question, and then if you want to do whatever, if not, we'll wrap. Final question. Right now, say you had the power to change anything. Your eyes just like widen. Like, oh
my god, I get to answer a question.
Say you had the power to change anything, and I mean anything about the school system. What would you do? What do you think would like fix certain things, or what would you like to see done? You have ultimate power. Whatever you say goes.
Is it one thing? Or can I bring up multiple points?
No, multiple.
Okay, well, there's plenty of stuff that needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
I do agree that there do need to be teachers that are more passionate about what they are doing. The class sizes need to be smaller. The funding for schools, period, needs to be raised. Because all the technology in my old high school is absolutely outdated. They just didn't have the money for it because obviously, just like richer areas, they have the better technology. I never had a freaking computer at school until I moved here in Georgia. Never had a computer in Tennessee. So that was crazy.
Like, not even a computer lab?
No.
That's scary.
Like, up until like middle school, I don't think we had like a full-on computer lab.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. So there's just certain places in the United States that need to be fixed with the monetary issues that come in with school. Standardized tests need to be reformed. I will stand by my opinion of standardized tests.
I'm not trying to change your opinion.
I know. I like listening to people, though. It's interesting on hearing other people's. Because, I mean, you should be open to other people's opinions. And you should not just, like, black and white.
How boring this show would be if you just agree with me on everything? Like, the show.
Not even that, but just to take in somebody else's perspective and, like, actually think about it. And just, instead of just immediately throwing it away. Because most people will do that.
100%.
Yeah. So I was just kind of thinking about it, you know? But I still stand by it after everything you've said. And I still believe that they need to be pushed in a direction that better fits their lifestyle. I think that's about it, honestly. If I think of anything
But you wouldn't
else,
get rid of standardized testing.
I would get rid of standardized testing in the form of everybody testing on the same thing. So like I said earlier, with somebody, they can take an initial test to kind of weigh out what they're good at.
Yeah.
So if you want to consider that a standardized test, you can. But once they get past that, they're then going to be pushed into the region of the field that they are good in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but they will still take tests in that field, right?
They'll take tests in that field, but then they're
Yeah.
not standardized technically. It's kind
Okay.
of suited to everybody's like personality and what they're in the school for. Does
I
that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get it. Like just a little last pushback is
Mm-hmm.
that because I don't disagree. I actually do not disagree with you. I
Mm-hmm.
think you and I are actually on the same page. It's just I think we're going about it in two different ways because like uh once they're pushed into the field that they're more likely to succeed in,
Mm-hmm.
like so let's use science for this example. How would you know if they're actually retaining the information like in science and stuff? Like if you don't at least standardize test the science students
Mm-hmm.
to see if they're at least retaining the information.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that like even if they get a low score, it's not that they're not smart. They can always take the test
Mm-hmm.
again. It's just do we know if you get what we're putting down?
Yeah, yeah. But is that technically standardized if it's in
But
a
is that a
science
bad thing
region?
though?
It's not, but it's the difference of giving it to everybody if they're not good at science.
Well, no, I'm using your example. Like now that we've pushed the students where they want to go. So let's say like, oh, we found out these group of 5 students are really good at science, that they do want to do science.
Yeah.
So now they're in a science room. Now they're going to take, now they're going to take a science test.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but it has to be standardized just for those science students, because should it still be standardized? Because how do you know if they're not retaining the information?
Yeah. Yes, you're right.
I don't think standardized tests is a super bad thing. I don't think it's great right now. I will give you that. I don't think it's great right now. I think we need to do it better. I don't like the idea of long tests too. Like
Yeah.
I think teachers kind of get off on like some sadistic thing like, oh yeah, have a test that's 100 questions. Like, dude, my brain burns out after 20.
Yeah, I
like
don't really get it.
yeah.
Yeah. Everybody should have a fair chance. And like maybe written questions would be better. Because personally,
multiple
those
choice.
help. See, you're bad at them because are you retaining the information?
Yeah.
Exactly. You're not actually learning. So those will be better for the students who are actually passionate about this and to make sure that they're learning this content. And instead of just failing them, you can go back in and work one-on-one with them, because hence the class sizes will be smaller because they're pushed into that direction of the field. So then you can go back, work on them one-on-one and be like, hey, this is what you missed. We're going to go over this specific topic. Because with standardized tests, they don't do that. They're not like, okay, this is what you need to work on. They're like, oh, you failed. You're just a shitty kid. That's literally it. I don't know what else to say.
All right, never mind. I do want to be a teacher. Be like, damn, you're dumb.
You suck.
Mr. Jimenez, what can I do to get better? Get smarter. I don't know, what do you want me to tell
Nothing.
you? This is why I can't be a teacher.
My God. Oh, wow.
I can't be a teacher because even though I can control my cussing, if I have a class that's really fun and like it makes me go like, man, I'm glad to be a teacher. If I get too comfortable, I will slip up. And
in a room of first graders though, room of 8-year-olds, you're gonna be like, fuck.
Yeah, because their attention span is like so short. So they'll be like, look what I could do. I'd be like, oh wow, that's so fucking amazing.
They'd like actually impress you and you'd be like, shit.
Oh my God, you did that? Damn. Oh man, I'm not supposed to say that. Fuck.
Oh shit.
Oh,
sorry.
shit, fuck.
Damn.
My ass is gonna get fired. What's ass? Oh man, you didn't hear from me.
We're done.
All right, Bree. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I hope you had a great time. Did you have fun?
Time. Yeah. Did
Awesome.
you have fun?
We'll talk about it later. I'm just kidding.
I want to know if you had fun.
ASMR.
This is my last bit of ASMR for your channel. Should I like look them right in the eye?
Oh God. And people unsubscribe to my show.
They're like immediately done.
They're done. Any last thing you want to leave for the world before we wrap?
Nah. See you later. Or
All
not. Right. I don't know.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Peace.